Hey, oh.
Hi.
Maybe I've been eating a little too many Special K bars. I don't know if you caught that, but my seat just went boom. Hello,
Hi,
Facebook. How are you?
We're off to a good start.
Okay,
today.
it's Wellness Wednesday. Once again, it's Wacky Wellness Wednesday.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. Lori Hoy here.
And Fawn Schaefer from Fresh Start Chiropractic.
And we are here to have we just want to start a conversation, a dialogue about some things that we're going to be touching on in the next few weeks, because we have a lot of things that have came in that we kind of figured they all could kind of blend together. And if you caught my pre-post, I guess, that said you just can't believe everything that you hear or read or, I don't know,
See on TV.
Yeah. And you know, maybe, now that you say that, it just clicked to me. When I was driving here to meet with Dr. Fawn for our episode today, I was thinking about anytime I hear I don't watch TV much, but when the television is on, because my husband does watch the news, and there is an ad for a medication, there's always like 95 disclaimers and 108 different side effects that you could have. And I wonder, like, should we really be listening to that? Isn't it better just to go turn it off?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's kind of crazy. So I don't know if that's something that you guys notice or ever feel when you're watching, if you watch television and you see commercials for any kind of a drug that to help with this, but it causes all these other things.
Yeah. Usually the thing that's helping is better than the things it causes. So
Right. So we just want to have a dialogue to share with you some things that we've learned along the way. And it's going to be a lot of different things. But today we really want to talk about one of the things that I mentioned the other day. I put a post out there about a calorie being a calorie. Now, we know that a calorie is a unit of measure for energy.
right.
So you have to have a certain amount of calories in a day just for your body to function properly. That's excluding any kind of calorie intake for exercise or anything else. I mean, just for your kidneys to work properly, your heart to pump, your brain to work, all of those systems that we have, there is a certain number for each person, and I think it's probably different for each person too. I mean, there's a range,
Yeah.
obviously, that you just have to have for your body to work, okay? And then if you're going to be doing some exercise, you should be taking in a certain amount of calories to sustain that as well. But there's a theory out there. I know, we looked at each other like. The theory is that a calorie is a calorie, no matter what it is. And so if you saw the photo, there was a handful of fruit, and then there was a handful of like cookies, and I'm not sure exactly what else it was.
Something. Junk.
And so, yeah, we could say that this handful had the same amount of calories as this handful, but they aren't really equal.
Absolutely. Right.
So
when we think about the cycle that our brain says, hey, I'm hungry. When you eat something, there's two different kinds of ways of looking at it. Yes, you're giving your body calories if you're eating a handful of Doritos, but that's going
or
to...
a bag.
Or yeah, you can't eat just one, right? So, that's a different chip.
That is a different chip. But it's same for me for Doritos.
A handful of Doritos is not going to go as far as a handful of kale or vegetables, or I know it doesn't sound as good, but your body is going to see them differently. You can't just eat Doritos every day and get the things that you need out of your food. So when you think about it, your body goes into this cycle of when you eat those Doritos, for a second you might think, okay, I'm good. My little craving is gone. About 10 minutes later, you're hungry again, right? Because you didn't get any nutrition. You just got calories. If you eat that handful of carrots or that even an apple or something like that you're not hungry 10 minutes later because your body said, oh, hey, thanks, I needed that. And it lasts longer. So it's a really nasty cycle to get into when we eat a bunch of the food that's not healthy for us.
So I almost liken it to say to the question that tries to trick people: which weighs more, a pound of feathers or a pound of butter?
Bricks.
Guess what? Bricks. Pound of butter. Pound of feathers or a pound of bricks? They both equal the same amount, but they're such different material. Think about a pound of feathers. How much that would be, or how much it would take to have a pound of feathers versus a pound of brick? I mean, I don't know, probably one brick, maybe even a half. I don't even know how much they weigh.
I don't know.
Probably one brick or even a half a brick is 1 pound, but feathers would take probably this, I don't know.
Yeah,
this really
a lot.
depends a lot.
Same thing with an Oreo versus carrots. Like, how many carrots can you eat for an Oreo? Like, I don't know exactly, but a lot more. Carrots are kind of high in calories, but still not that bad.
Right, right. It's still a better choice.
Yeah, you can eat a lot more.
Yeah.
You can eat all the vegetables on a whole plate of vegetables for what you could eat a hamburger for or something. So.
Right, right. So, I mean, we just wanted to, I mean, I know you have clients that you're dealing with, that you're talking about nutrition now with your Whole30 classes. And I have clients that I'm working with in my health and wellness, health and wellness. That's what we're doing. My fitness and nutrition groups. And basically, we're sharing with them. I mean, I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. I am just someone that's really super passionate about helping people learn more about nutrition and fitness. She is a doctor, and she has her own story about nutrition and how a calorie just really isn't a calorie. And I don't know whether you want to just give them a highlight of your story that can give you I'm gonna just say it like it is, a little more credibility than me just going out and doing these things.
Right.
But there are a lot of people that have gone out and done the same thing that I've done and had very similar results.
Absolutely. And I too, I was one of the people that my McDonald's is a half a mile down the road. So I was busy and I was stressed, and that's what I did. I mean, I ate fast food. I ate things I could pop in the microwave, and before you knew it, I was 75 pounds heavier than I am right now. And I decided I was going to lose weight, so I did it. I did it by eating all the things I thought were healthy.
Like
gluten-free food.
lean cuisine.
Yeah, lean cuisine, the fat-free stuff, the low-fat, the sugar-free stuff. Mm-hmm. And I did. I dropped some weight. I mean, it worked. But did I feel better? No. I actually started to get really darn freaking sick. And fast forward 3 or 4 months of the sickest months of my life, and I had found out that I had Crohn's disease. So there I am. Got the diagnosis, feel worse than I've ever felt my entire life, and I'm on the phone with my medical doctor who's telling me this is my diagnosis, and she's saying, okay, you get to pick medication A, B, or C to be on for the rest of your life because you have a disease and we need to treat it with this medicine. I said, no, I don't. I said, I need a minute. I can do this. And I said, I knew that the food that I had been eating, the healthy food, is a very big contributing factor.
You know
That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, contributing factor.
To why I got sick. And I'll spare you the biology of that. But if food made me sick, I knew that food could make me healthy. I just needed to change what I was eating. And so she hung up on me, literally, and said, okay, call me when you can't handle it anymore because you're going to need medication. And that was 3 years ago. And now I am a huge proponent of a calorie is not a calorie. You need to give your body nutritious food so you can fix it. You can heal from the inside out. And all it wants is the right nutrition and the right fuel to rebuild itself. And it did. And now I'm 3 years later, no symptoms of Crohn's disease in 3 years. And I wish I could just call that doctor and say, hey, look at me now, because I'm healthier than I've ever been in my entire life. And all I did was change my food.
And not to downplay that your doctor was only doing what she was taught to do in school. So, I mean, you guys know who followed me that I'm a teacher. And I learned in college the theory of teaching. But I really didn't become a teacher until I was teaching. Until I was actually in the classroom with students doing it day in and day out. That's when I really learned how to be a teacher. So, you can get all the book smarts you want. Anybody could read a medical journal. Might not be able to understand it. This one, certain things I probably could understand. We could all read those things. But, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think in the Western, in the United States, when regular physicians, medical doctors go, they only get maybe like 2 or 3 classes in nutrition, unless that's their field of expertise that they want to go into. Is that correct?
I don't know exactly the numbers, but I just know that as it's not their fault. You're right. Medical doctors just don't look at nutrition as a way of healing. They know surgery and drugs. That's what they know. That's what they're taught. and they want to go in and physically fix it artificially because they can, and that's awesome. And
Right.
don't get me wrong, there's a place and a time for drugs and surgery and that kind of stuff. But we as a society don't spend enough time thinking about how to prevent that kind of stuff. So in chiropractic training, we have the same kind of trainings as medical doctors to a point, but where they go and learn drugs and surgery and that kind of stuff, we learn more holistic things. Like we learn what nutrition can do in our bodies, and a lot of us take extra classes to learn that kind of stuff too, because we truly believe our body can heal itself. It just needs the help from us to give it what it needs. So, like I said, we're not here to bash medical doctors.
No,
There's a
absolutely
time and place
not.
for them.
Absolutely not.
But we have different philosophies about things, and that's what I want to teach my patients and all of our clients is that if you really take a solid, what's the word I'm looking for? A solid,
I'm not sure.
stake in your life right now. I don't know, like
It's all right.
it's that day.
This afternoon.
But
You need
if
some
you
fat.
take the, I don't know what I'm looking for. But anyway, take charge. Take charge of your life and say, I want to be healthier. Before you get to a point where you need the medical intervention. That's what we're trying to do.
Right.
If you know right now that there's things wrong, you can fix it. It's not too late.
You have to be an advocate for your own health.
Yes. Okay.
That's truly what you need to do. And again, this was a while ago. I went to see my medical doctor. I go every year for a physical. That's just something that I feel, I mean, first of all, my insurance covers it. So I want to keep my insurance great, right? And I feel it's important for you to monitor your health. And the numbers that I monitor are not the ones that as soon as you walk in, step on the scale. Because nobody likes that. I don't monitor that. That's not something that tells me whether I'm healthy or not. Right. That's one thing that can gauge it, right? And it doesn't even tell you, because there are people out there that can be incredibly fit looking on the outside, but be super sick on the inside. They're mainly because of nutrition. So that's something that I definitely continue to do. But when I went the last time, I kind of again, if she's watching, I'm not picking. I sunk back into that she's the doctor, he or she's the doctor, and then there's me as the patient, and that person has more education in that area than I do, so they should be able to tell me what I need as far as blood work and not. And I really do know what I should really know, actually, because it's my body. And I live with this body every day, and I know when I get up in the morning what aches and pains I have, and it's important for you to, this is just something that we feel passionately about. I'll say it that way. This is our opinion, that you need to take control of your life and as far as your health is concerned. And I'm not saying if you go to the doctor and they give you a diagnosis that you should say, well, you're wrong. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying do a little bit more research. There's a reason why people have gotten second opinions and gone to different doctors. Not that because they didn't want to hear the same thing 5 times, but there's just other ways of thinking about how to manage an illness if you already have one.
Right.
But what we want to do is to help you not
get sick.
Right. Or diseased. Yeah. And one way we know for sure that you can do that is through proper nutrition. And I know there's a lot of things. There's a sea of things to swim through out there. Like that analogy, don't you? About nutrition. And we're both people that have fallen into the marketing of food. Is it Lay's potato chips? You can't just eat one, or can't just eat one, something like that. There's a reason, guys.
Absolutely.
There's a reason, and there are food companies, because they're aligned with a lot of dollars, that manufacture food to make you want it and eat more of it.
Because they know our brains are addictive.
Yeah.
So they want our food to be addictive. Because the more that we eat, the more money they make, right?
Yes.
That's how that works.
So are we bashing them? We didn't name any.
Yeah, we didn't name
Yes, we
any.
are. I would say some calorie.
But let's one of the things I give an example of in my Whole 30 talks is a McDonald's French fry. Are you guys aware of the McDonald's French fry in the United States versus a McDonald's French fry in the United Kingdom? In the United Kingdom, a McDonald's French fry has 3 ingredients: potato, salt, and oil.
Okay.
In the United States, it's like 15. Half of them you can't pronounce. Some of them are things that are the most highly inflammatory foods that we eat. Wheat, soy, dairy, and sugar. They're in a McDonald's French fry. So when you're eating that French fry, you're thinking, wow, this is really good. You always want to supersize your fries, right?
Right. Oh, yeah.
That's why. Because food companies can sneak so many things into a food to make our brain want more. So that's what I was talking about. When you eat it, you're not getting the nutrition. So of course you want more because you still feel hungry.
Your body is smarter than you think. I mean, like, we have two brains, really. Our stomach and, of course, the real brain. I mean, that's here. And the thing that I, you're saying with, oh no, I just lost my thought. See, you couldn't think of a word and I just lost my thought. Keep talking. It'll come back.
Today. So that's the one thing I teach everybody is what you really need to read what's in your, just because on the label it says healthy or
natural.
Natural is a good one because they say that all the time. You still need to flip that thing over and look at the ingredients.
Just came back.
And okay, she's back on her track. But look at the ingredients and you'll learn. Like some of those things, if you can't pronounce it, what are you eating it for?
Hey, I can pronounce it because I'm a phonetic reader. But if I don't know what it is, I mean, if it's got
also
more,
a teacher.
Yeah, if it's got more syllables than like oil. Or potato and more vowels, more than likely it's not something that you want. And I want to go back to the potato. And this is what makes me think of that. You were just saying about French fries. And I'm sure when McDonald's first started way back when, and I don't even know when they first came out, I'm sure their food was a lot different then than it is now. I'm sure, I mean, you all know this. A lot of our food that we have in America was a lot different 15, 20 years ago than it is now. Okay, and I'm hoping I think it is. It's starting to make that swing back to more agricultural in the sense of being, no pesticides. I mean, DDT is gone, thank the Lord, but we're still seeing the effects of that years later in our soil. But anyway, I think that's maybe a reason why we're so afraid to eat a white potato. Yeah, it's a carb, and we don't want to eat too many carbs because it turns to sugar as we metabolize it.
Which means inflammation.
Yeah, inflammation. Oops, sorry. We're going to hold hands down. But really, it's not a horrible food to eat.
Right.
If you're thinking about it that way. Now, I mean, I do eat potato. I eat white potatoes and I eat sweet potatoes. But I don't eat white potatoes every day. I could, but I don't. So, and it's how you prepare your food. I just was listening today, and this was news to me. I don't know if anybody that's listening knows Rocco DiSpirito. He's a famous chef. I used to watch all those Food Network channels. I'm a foodie, people.
So I don't know.
I'm a foodie. So I used to watch, now I can't remember his name. Bam! Can't remember his name. Emerald, yes.
Wow,
Emerald Lagasse. Yeah, Emerald Lagasse, Bobby Flay, Rocco DiSpirito, all of them. I used to love to watch. Paula Deen, loved her. Butter girl. Now we need to talk because I'll do butter. I'll do whole butter. But he recently became ill.
Oh.
And he had all these symptoms of things, inflammation, fill in the blank, cured himself with changing the way he eats. Go figure.
See?
And he's a famous chef for French cooking, which normally is very hot. I mean, it's kind of I don't want to say fatty because that's a whole other episode that we're going to have in the next few weeks. But it was just, pastries and sugar and blah, blah, blah. And now he's written a book about it. Of course, they all write books. And we should write a book.
We should.
And then he also is looking to create a cookbook for people like you and me that's vegan-based, because we know that plant-based diets are better for our bodies. Not that you can't have meat, because I still do.
I'm not vegan.
No, me either. I like my meat. Sorry. And he's actually really super focused on helping people become healthy, just like we are in that respect. So he's taking all of his knowledge of culinary, 30 years of culinary experience, and creating reimagined recipes that are actually healthy. So it's not and tasty. Because obviously, people think the reason why they don't want to eat that food is because it doesn't taste good. I will say, I don't like kale.
I like kale.
I mean, and it's all in what and how you prepare it and what you do with it. So, But anyway, we're circling back to what we came on for is a calorie is not a calorie. And the reason is your body has to do something with it. And if it doesn't recognize what it is, it's going to say to you, I'm still hungry. So we're talking, Doritos versus carrots. I mean, as much as you want to have a Dorito, and they are tasty, but they aren't going to fulfill what your body needs to perform at its top, at its best.
One other example I give to my group that I talk to is, your body regenerates itself about every year in some way, shape, or form. You get a new body. Your cells regenerate. Some things faster than others. Your stomach lining regenerates every 5 days. Your lung lining regenerates every 2 to 3 weeks. And your bones regenerate every 3 months. So if you think about just for the last 5 days, have you eaten junk for the last 5 days? What do your stomach cells look like now? Because they had nothing but junk to make themselves out of. So, but the same way with your lungs and your bones. So why do you think so much digestive problems are happening, and so many breathing issues happen now with allergies and asthma, and so many joint pains? Because our body is made out of junk. If you think about it, if that's what we're eating, that's what we're getting out. You have to think about it that way.
And the cells can't. Do they die? They would probably just die. They wouldn't really regenerate and slough off all the toxins and things like that they're supposed to do.
Right. If they don't die, then they're just not functioning as well as they could be, because they don't have the fuel that they need to do what they're trying to do, which is keep you healthy.
Right. And so with all of this, I think our goal, if I may speak for you, is just to help you, as our listeners, as our followers, as our clients, whatever, figure out how to start. So maybe we could give them a couple tips of something that they could do to start if they're in that spot. I know you've been working with some people with Whole30, but if you were someone that, you just flipped us and you flipped on Facebook and you see us live and you think, hey, I want to listen to these two ladies that are crazy. What are some ways that we can start to figure out how to get through all of this? Right. My number one thing is you have to read labels. You have to read every label. And I've gotten caught in this, I don't know how many times, and I know this. We all know it. And I don't mean the nutrition facts. That's important to know, but it's not really the most important part. You have to read the ingredients. Right. If you don't know what it is, then you shouldn't be eating it. Absolutely. That's my number one tip.
And people get thrown off because I tell my Whole30 people to look for sugar in the ingredients. So when you're reading the ingredients, there's like 100 different names for sugar. So you have to, you can Google it. It's on the Whole30 website too. But you want to look in the ingredients for all the words that could be sugar, because they sneak it in there. But in the nutrition facts, you could have some sugar in there, because some foods have natural sugars. So just because it has sugars registered in the
so many grams, right.
That kind of sugar is okay as long as it's a natural sugar. You just don't want any added sugar in the ingredients list in the bottom.
So in other words, dextrose, fructose, sucrose, any OS word, syrup.
I
used to know more than that, but
well, and then you got to watch for the artificial ones too. Those things are like Splenda and xylitol and what are we talking about here?
They don't,
there's a lot.
If it's, and so I also caution everybody. We always say sugar. It's a sweetener. It's to put that extra carb really in your food that you really don't need, and your body doesn't know what to do with it because it can't handle all of that at once.
Added sugar, you want to talk about empty calories? That's pretty much what added sugar is.
So my number one tip would be to just, if you're starting today, and this is your number one day, because there's always a day one. We've all had them, right?
Right.
Day one or one day. Make today day one, okay? Or maybe tomorrow if you're going to go to the grocery store. Every single thing that you pick up, read the label. I'm serious. It is so important, and you will be amazed. It will actually make your head spin. I've had a lot of clients say that to me. It's one of the first things that we do in one of my groups is we start out by looking at our labels. And here's what I want you to also look. Go in your refrigerator. No, that didn't come out right. Refrigerator. Go in your pantry and also check out your spice rack. You will be amazed.
Yeah.
Amazed.
Have to read the ingredients on your spices, believe it or not.
Lemon pepper.
Yeah. See?
Had sugar in it.
Sugar. Usually, most of the pure spices are good, but when you start to blend, that they sneak stuff in there because they don't want it to clump, or I don't know what the
fillers.
reasoning
They're the
is.
fillers.
Yeah. They just, but like that Mrs.
Fillers.
Dash,
What's it fill up all the crevices in our, and it plumps us up too,
plumps
right?
us up, right?
Yeah. I want to plump you up.
So, I mean,
Sorry.
and if you look at a can of peas, it has sugar in it. If you look at, I had one client of mine show me cashews that had peanut oil in them, and peanuts are a bad thing in the Whole30. So it was crazy. Why would you think that there's peanuts oil in cashews?
Yeah.
So you just start reading it. You're going to actually say, whoa, I never knew.
Yeah, so read your labels and look for foods that have limited amount of ingredients. If you have to buy something that's boxed or bagged or whatever, make sure you know what it is. I mean, that's the most important. I think is the first step. It really, really is. And it's just arming yourself with one great tool to start out with.
I think she's right. You'll open your eyes when you start actually turning it around and looking underneath the calories and things like that and seeing what's really in your food. And don't go just by what's on the front, because I had another client ask me about Pam cooking spray because it said made with olive oil. So she thought, oh, it's just olive oil. No. You have to still turn it over because there was all sorts of crap in that stuff. I mean, there was olive oil in there. It's usually canola oil, which is crap. But that's why it said made with olive oil.
It has no right in it. Canola.
So don't believe what they put on the front. You have to flip it over.
Yeah. And I here again today, I was watching some of my students, and I won't name any because that would not be right, eating lunch today. I'm appealing to moms out there. I am, because what you do now for your child sets up their health 15 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, even 20. It made me so sad. I did take a picture. I don't know if I'm going to post it yet because I have a hand in there and I'm just really weird about that. But everything that this child had in the lunch had high carb content. High carb. Every single one. And then this afternoon I sat back and went, oh, okay, that's why. I mean, like there were, and I mean, yes, we all like treats. We all enjoy having a piece of cake or a cookie. But I had a client say to me the other day, how do you get your kids on board with this healthy eating? And I said, well, who buys the food in the house? Who cooks? You do, right? You're the one that sets the stage for that. And I'm not pointing fingers and saying you're all bad parents for giving them a honey bun, okay? I'm just saying try your best to start looking out for what your child needs. If they were sick, you'd take them to the doctor, right? So you wouldn't feed them poison.
Right.
And those things are really, truly poisonous for our bodies. I mean, it really is. So I am reaching out to all your moms out there and dads. I'm not going to exclude the dads too. Looking as a teacher who is really, passionate about nutrition, and I see your kids. There is a lot of research out there about feeding them good food will help them perform better in school, not just on tests, but just overall learning. There are a lot of research.
And from my standpoint too, I see a lot of kids in my office. I really do. I see kids and pregnant moms, and a lot of my kids that come in have chronic sinus infections, chronic ear infections, and then I see them sitting in the office with a bowl of Lucky Charms that they're eating, or Skittles or something. And I think sometimes it's hard to breach that subject with the parent, but when they're eating all that crud, it can lead to all that chronic stuff. So that's why you hear of kids having to be on antibiotics 3 or 4 times till they kick an ear infection or a sinus infection. And that's why all the kids have a lot of allergies or food allergies nowadays, is because there's, again, parents mean well, and they get those little snack packs of things that say, oh, healthy snack, da-da-da.
It's got protein in it.
They mean, the parents mean well.
But because you don't know what you don't know, and that's part of what our charge is, I guess, that we're really passionate about doing. It's just informing you and helping you make the best decision possible. A treat now and then is not horrible. But if it's something that's in their lunch every single day, you might want to rethink that and just try to start getting them involved in the process. I think, to me, that's the best thing. No matter what you want to teach them, if you get them involved in it, cooking, or I know holidays are coming up soon, and we all want to do the holiday cookies, and that's a great family tradition. I'm not saying give up your family tradition, but maybe look for some recipes that have some healthier ingredients to slide some of that extra nutrition in there.
Yeah, absolutely. baby steps.
Yeah,
Just
baby steps. So try one thing. So today your tip is to start reading labels and pantry, refrigerator, and your spice rack, okay? And we would love to hear what you find out. So if you are going to take our little challenge of doing that, even if it's for a day, even if it's till next Wednesday, right? To our next episode, share with us what you find when you are looking at the ingredients of the foods that you thought or think are healthy. All right?
Let us know.
Yeah, we'd love to hear it. All right, guys.
We'll see you next week. We're going to
Thanks
continue
for tuning
on
in.
this little track.
Yes, we are.
Yeah,
a little bit of nutrition and just some things that we want to share. All right?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for
Have a good
tuning in. Have a good night.
Yeah.
See you soon.